Hi, Assalamualaikum. We continue chapter 3 with the sheet metal, drawing and also pressing. So before this, we have covered the bulk deformation. So for the sheet metal drawing and pressing overview, we're going to cover for this first part on the introduction, general characteristic of sheet metal forming process, and then sheet metal characteristic and formability. And then we're going to look at one of the basic type of sheet metal process in which deep drawing. Okay, as we know, before this we done with the bulk deformation, and now we are going to sheet metal process. As we know that sheet metal, the original shape gonna be in term of thin a sheet, or it can be thin plate. Okay, so these three process involved in which basically is the shearing, bending and drawing. And then we have, for example, shearing, we have blanking, we have punching, and then we have deep drawing that we're going to look at later on. And also we have other process of sheet metal. And for introduction, press working or press forming is commonly used. Okay, so this is the raw material in which it comes in term of the roll, and sometimes in the term of a thin sheet like this. And usually perform on presses using a set of dies. So you must apply force in between those two dies to get the shape. Okay. And then low carbon steel is the most commonly used because it is low cost and generally good strength and formability. So formability is very important for the sheet metal. And cutting and forming is the commonly for the thin sheet metal. And it must be done in the cold working because if you heat it up too hot, so it's going to be too soft. Okay, and it's hard to handle. Thickness of sheet metal, for example, this one is 0.4 millimeter to 6 millimeter, and the thickness of the plate, okay, like this plate stock, can be above 6 millimeter. And you need to know the parts, yeah, depends on the sheet metal process. So mostly it's for the consumer and industrial product. Okay, for example, door paneling for automotive. Okay, we have also for the office furniture, for the appliances body, for computer and office equipment, and also for the aerospace. So these are the general process of forming. Okay, there's a lot. So we're going to look at the drawing, okay, deep drawing, and then we're going to look on the stamping, and then the other will be on the other part of forming in the metal sheet. And these are the advantages of sheet metal. Okay, so first, high strength, good dimensional accuracy because it depends on the die. So since you're working with the thin sheet like this, so it's easy to get a good dimensional accuracy. And then you have a very good surface finish, okay? Because you are working with the cold working. So cold working, dimensional accuracy is quite good, and also you don't have to worry about the surface finish. And relatively low cost because you can produce in a mass production by using the die. Okay, basic type of sheet metal process. So we can see that we have the deep drawing. Okay, so the deep drawing, it's commonly to make for example pots and pans. Okay, and it can change or convex shape or concave shape. Okay, and also we look at the cutting in which we have shearing, blanking, and punching. So you need to differentiate, okay, these three definition. Shearing is to separate ataupun potong the large sheet. Kita tak panggil cutting, usually we go use the word shearing. And then blanking is to cut out parameter. So you blank. This is the process of blanking. So the outer part is the scrap. You want this part. Punching is to make a hole. Okay, so the scrap is this one. You want to keep this one. And the other one is bending. Okay, bending in which you strain the sheet. Okay, following the die shape. It can be like this. Okay, it can be using the round here, and also it can have lots of shape. Okay, let's look into deep drawing. Okay, deep drawing, sheet metal is used to make a cup, box, or concave, convex, hollow shaped parts. And Usually they position over a die cavity in which you want to get the shape, and then the punch pushes the metal into the opening. So the shape is at the die, and this punch will apply the force, and these are the blanks, so you will get this shape. Okay, so there is the die, and then they have the blank holder so that they will hold the workpiece. Okay, the product that you need to know is the beverage can. Okay, tin for the drink, and then we have the ammunition shell, automotive body panel, for example, the door panel, okay, the hood and so on. And then we have the kitchen sink, the aluminum kitchen sink that we always found in the house. Other shape can be square, rectangular, for example, the sink in the kitchen, step cups, cone, or it can be spherical. And then they have irregular curve, for example, the automotive body panels. And it depends on the shape that you want to have. Okay, let's look the deep drawing process for making a pot, okay, for cooking. Okay, you can see the end product. Okay, so from the blank, they apply the force and they will get this shape. It's very fast process. Okay, when we talk about the beverage can, it's not like one simple process. So it combination of a few steps before you can get the end product. Process involved. So you need to show the flow. Okay, start with the blanking. Okay, blanking is to get this blank. Okay, before you have the shape. So you always start with the roll of sheet metal. So you blanking to get the first part, and then next you will do the deep drawing process in which the blank will be held by the blank holder and the punch will put a force, and then they will get the shape of this. And then they have to redraw, means that by having the first pre-shape, then they will apply another force, okay, and then to have a deeper parts, and then okay, redrawing, and then we have ironing. So ironing is the phase to get the wall. Okay, so you iron this part to get the uh, height, okay, of the aluminum can. Then you have the doming in which you want to have this shape, okay, the concave shape here. And then you have the necking, okay, to have the neck for the cover later on. Okay, so you have to have this fold up here. And then the final one, you have the seaming in which you will combine the cover with the body. Okay, so you have the seaming process. So it's not a one straight process, but you have a few steps involved. Okay, for the drawing design consideration, there's a lots of process variable that you can control to have the best output. Some of them are like the punch force, okay, and then the holder, how tight going to be, and then the shape of the height of the die, and then the diameter and so on. So it can show here you can have up to like 15 variable that you can adjust to get the best output. All right, so that's all for the first part. So I see you on the second part.